Today on So Sonic, we are talking about the new LAZER 700 album, The Formula. If you like music and discussing it, make sure to like and subscribe. But thank you very much for watching. Now, let's get into The Formula by LAZER 700. LAZER 700 is a 23-year-old rapper from Cordell, Georgia, whose music just started blowing up around a year ago or so. And straight out of the gate, the moment that he burst onto the scene, he was a polarizing figure, mostly due to his very unique beat selection and his lack of polished, if any, vocal production. Despite his unpolished style, his very unique flow and delivery made for a very potent voice in the land of underground hip-hop. I've personally always found LAZER 700 to be very inspirational, honestly, because you can really just tell that in the early days, this guy was just sitting at home making beats on maybe his iPhone or something, maybe a just cheap little camera that he bought, but there was no polish to it. It was all just raw and super authentic. He hasn't really given in to trying a more polished style of production, and he kind of just plays by his own rules, and I really admire that about him. With that being said, though, I unfortunately did not enjoy this album very much at all. In fact, this is one of the least replayable albums that I've heard in a long time. Because the thing is, if you've heard one LAZER song, actually, if you've heard like 3 or 4 LAZER songs, you've basically heard them all. His very wacky and unorthodox beat selections were very fun in the early days of his career, but now, he hasn't really changed up his style at all. He picks the same type beats and raps with the same flows, and there's no progress of evolution from the start of his career to now, it seems like. And I found myself really only able to enjoy the first few tracks before this album just really started to overstay its welcome for me. This album is littered with super simple lead synths, that super blown out 808 sound that is very common in LAZER songs, and basically the same flows that you've been hearing since the start of his career. A few of these tracks are even particularly bad for LAZER in my opinion. The tracks Bounty and Fuck Oi have these really awkward and distracting ad-libs just littered throughout them. The song XD starts out with this very clumsy offbeat flow and then kind of gets on beat later, but it's just not interesting. The song Freddy Cougar sounds like LAZER tried a like hood trap minimalist type beat, but like, I don't know, it just sounds empty to me. I don't like that song at all. I did, however, enjoy the very energetic flow and delivery from songs such as You Bitin' and Revolution. I really like when LAZER gets a little more enthusiastic and spirited behind the mic because it offers a nice breath of fresh air from just the same delivery and repetitive flows that you've been hearing this whole album. And that's the other thing about this album. It doesn't need to be 41 minutes long. I just did a Too Slimy review and I was talking about how his album High Anxiety is 22 minutes long and it's like perfect for that style of hip hop. Because anything more than that in this very highly distorted, highly abrasive style of hip hop is just gonna overstay its welcome in more than 30 minutes. In fact, this album could have been less than 30 minutes. I mean, it gets its point across in the span of the first 5 songs, in my opinion. After the first 5 tracks, you're not gonna hear anything new that you haven't heard on the album already. And that's really my biggest gripe with this album, is because we've heard LAZER rap on cooler beats and have better flows before. His breakout hit, Asian Rock, is still a great song to this day. I still listen to that song to this day. I mean, how catchy is that beat? Like you can hear that beat in your head right now to this day. How hard are the bars on Treacherous? How hard is the beat on Treacherous from his earlier days? This album to me just feels like LAZER is trying to milk his sound for as much as he can get out of it before it goes out of style. And it's tough to see because I think LAZER is otherwise a very talented young rapper, and I think that he should maybe expand his horizons a little bit. He has a very fun style and very potent delivery, which is very memorable and sticks with people. Another great thing about him is that I think he's a genuinely good rapper. He rarely has bars that are like overused in the grand scheme of hip hop, such as like, oh, they can't see me like Stevie or something like that, you know, new choppa, new choppa. But his lyrics on this album just aren't as hard hitting. They're not as memorable as his past stuff. And LAZER to me is a rapper who relies more on their lyrical ability and flow than relying on the beat. I think of him as the same way as I do a Babytron or a Rio, where the entertainment value of what they're saying of their bars is arguably more important than the beat that they're riding on. And I hope to see better writing, more thoughtful writing in the future from LAZER, but this album just wasn't it. If I had to pick a favorite, I guess I would pick Skyra. It's a pretty catchy song. I like the beat. If I had to pick a least favorite, I don't know, maybe Freddy Cougar. I don't know. I think I'm going to give the Formula by LaserDim 700 a 29. That does hurt me to say because I'm a big fan of LaserDim. I hope in the future he has more interesting projects. But if you like this review, make sure to like and subscribe. If you hated this review, make sure to call me stupid in the comments and subscribe to do it again next time. If you want to view my past reviews, I'll have one right here and one right here. But thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it.